There were fewer deaths from road accidents in 2015. Now, let's get that right. There were fewer accidents in 2015, talking about road accidents, when compared with 2014. Data from the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, shows fatalities reduced by more than 900 and actual road accidents fell by more than 1,000. Now, in spite of this, more than 5,000 lives were lost to road traffic crashes in the past year. But the FRSC wants that number to get lower and has introduced speed limiters. Commercial vehicle owners are mandated to install them in their vehicles by April the 1st. And the rest of us will get our date soon, which is why we have the Lagos Sector Commander of the FRSC, Hyginus Someje, in the studio. Good morning and good to have you.
Good morning and Happy New Year.
Yes.
I don't think we have seen this yet.
No, we have not. Happy New Year to you too.
Same to you.
So this new directive has had to be shifted a number of times. First, June 1 of 2015, then September 1, that was shifted too. And then now the new date, as
we're in April 1.
Read, April 1.
Exactly.
What's responsible for this shifts, first of all?
Well, I think it's just in consonance with the course internal decision of really listening to the aspirations of the people. We are conscious of our stakeholders. It's not something we just came up on our own. There were stakeholders collaborations, stakeholders meetings. So when the stakeholders asked for a shift, because we are an organization that has a listening ear and that feels the pulse of their stakeholders, the core had to. As a matter of fact, the last shift had the endorsement of His Excellency, the President and the Commander-in-Chief for us to still, shift that goalpost a bit to give all stakeholders the opportunity of integrating the cost into their budget because it was as if it was coming so abrupt. We didn't prepare for this and all those stuff mid-year in September and all those ones. We said, okay, fine. So everybody now had ample opportunity since last year that all those shifts also say, look, in 2015, we know that cost of speed limiting devices has to be part of our budget.
Which is at about 36,000 or so. I hear that some of these stakeholders that you've mentioned have actually, been fighting against this. They're actually saying that it would not even add value to their lives. Now, let's even leave that a bit. We'll still come back to that.
Yes.
What exactly is the speed limit device all about?
Well, is the speed limiting device, as the name implies, is meant to check the speed of the vehicle while in motion. If properly installed, and it's an electronic device, and there are two types of it. When properly installed at a preset speed, depending on the vehicle and of course the road, because you know that speed is actually determined by the category of vehicle you are driving and of course the road you are using. But let's take the max for example, that for every commercial bus, the max you can go on Nigerian highway is on the expressway is 90 kilometers per hour.
That's the one that's known locally as a Danfo or the Combi bus that sits about 15 people or thereabout.
Every commercial fleet carrying vehicle.
Okay.
Because that's where we are now. The implementation is in phases. For every commercial fleet carrying vehicle, and let's say, okay, taking the maximum as our yardstick now, that for every commercial vehicle on Nigerian expressway, the highest you can go is 90 kilometers per hour. Now, if you set the speed limiting device at 90 kilometers per hour, and the driver is on the expressway and he's firing, when he gets to 90, it does not matter how he accelerates that vehicle, it cannot go beyond that 90 kilometers. He has already limited the speed the driver can go at any point in time.
That means the vehicle will not respond to his acceleration.
It will not respond to his acceleration again. Now, what that simply means is that even if anything happened at that speed, 90 kilometers per hour, then the severity index would definitely be lower than if the man were to be going on 100, 110, or 120. Because the truth is that the higher the speed, the higher the severity index in the case of a crash. And also the greater the fatality, which is what we have seen over the years.
But some of these road transporters, the stakeholders you talk about here, say that this device has been phased out in some other countries, as it has been found to actually endanger lives as against protecting lives.
I wouldn't know the study they are using as a yardstick, but before we came into that, we looked at countries that have successfully used the speed limiting device to bring down the rate of crashes in their country. And as we speak now, what you can even be telling me now is that instead of installing manually or this thing after the vehicle, actually there are trucks and vehicles that even have it inbuilt already, and giving a password given to the fleet operators that they can lock it at a speed depending on the approved speed for the country that they are operating. They can actually go to the system, lock it at that speed. The man is on the road. He has an inbuilt, for example, most of the trucks that Volvo has in circulation now has it inbuilt already, and once locked at a preset speed limit like that, the man is on the road, he is driving, the vehicle cannot go beyond that set. So for them, what is required is the fleet manager knowing the regulation in the country that the vehicle is, and he just locks it at that speed and it goes. And I think because for every problem you have today, technology is helping us to solve it. Absolutely. And this is just one way of the call, making use of technology to address our present predicament in terms of the rate of crashes on our road.
Of course, the aim of this directive or law is to save lives.
Sure.
On the one hand, yes, it does seem like a good, very sound idea, but just...
It doesn't seem, it is.
Just installing this device
is
not enough. I mean, we know the state of the roads are bad in themselves. Yeah. And of course, you have I read somewhere that the average commercial driver in Lagos, for example, actually that's about 80% of them have high blood pressure. That's another thing. Yeah. Then there's the influence of alcohol.
Exactly.
So what are you doing to ensure that all of these factors, are in tandem with what you're trying to achieve? Yes.
Let me help you out here.
Yes.
I think why the issue of the speed limiting device is coming to the front burner is simply because, look, for us, it's like a new innovation into what has not been what we've been doing, as like we're bringing in this technology now to complement. I want to use the word complement whatever we have been doing before. Hitherto, we've been carrying sensitization and enforcement on issues, other risk factors that are responsible for crashes on our road. For example, last year we got a donation from a stakeholder, latest breathalyzing machines that we've been using to detect drivers driving under the influence of alcohol. Those ones have been ongoing, issues of driving under the influence, which we have been tackling using sobriety tests, using breathalyzers, and all those ones. They have been there. So this one is just adding to what we have been doing, because we are still working at all. I'm sure FRSC, we have what we call Beyond the Road. And under that Beyond the Road, you see our personnel, our paramedics, walk to the parks, set up a table, and also check the blood pressures and other health indicators of these drivers to ensure that, having made sure that the vehicle is in good condition, that the man that is also going to drive the vehicle is also in good condition. We have also had private sector participations in these areas, for not wanting to advertise anybody, but a bank did come last year that we did extensive Beyond the Road project. They came with health HMOs, other health providers of their own, and they came. We were all in motor parks checking blood pressure, checking the blood sugar to detect it. And you also note that for every commercial driver there, before you can get your driver's license under the new driver's license that we are offering, we also give you a reference to General Hospital where you go and do all things, all the other tests, including checking whether the person is an epileptic patient. Because we have had cases where somebody had a seizure behind the wheel. So these are ongoing measures to stem the tide of crashes on our roads. So
that's good
the speed limiting device is just to complement what we've been doing.